Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Alton West. Today I have a guest on from the Troup County Government Center, and also I have a guest on from the Troup County Archives Legacy Museum. So stay tuned for those interviews coming up in just a moment. Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm sitting down with Vivian White from the Personal Property Appraiser's Office of Troup County. Vivian, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Alton. Thanks for being here.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, but we want to talk a little bit about something I'm sure people want to shy away from sometime, and that is taxing of personal property. But before we get into talking about that, tell us a little bit about your roles.
I am the Troup County Personal Property Appraiser, and basically I discover, locate, identify, and appraise personal property. And personal property is anything that you can pick up and you can move.
Okay. I'm going to come back to the word discover in just a moment, okay? But I know that a couple of weeks ago that the Georgia Association for Assessing Officials were here in our county, and you met with them. And talk about them and what is their role?
Well, the Personal Property Committee is a division of the Georgia, or the GAAO,
okay,
for the state of Georgia, and what we do is basically try to not regulate but to equalize the appraisal process between all 159 counties.
Oh, okay. All right.
And they were here, and we were glad to have them here.
Okay. All right. And I guess they were here for a day or two. I think you all hosted the conference, I guess it was?
They were here for a day, and I would like to give a shout out to all of the local industries and the municipalities who participated in making them feel welcome. They also had a tour of the Kia automotive facility.
Oh, okay.
And they were very excited about that.
You know, I think I hear a lot of people that go on that Kia tour, and everybody just, you know, is fascinating just to see an automobile come together. Personal property there again that we're talking about, just to see it come together is quite remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah, they're really excited about all that equipment.
Absolutely.
Wow.
The robotics and everything. So
Exactly.
I've been through there a couple of times myself. Well, we're here again to talk about personal property, and again, you're talking about anything that you can pick up, anything that you can move. Talk a little bit about why does personal property need to be registered, Vivian?
Basically, we have several different areas of discovery that we can use, but what we would like for our taxpayers to do is to report this, because if they don't, then they leave me no option other than to use comparable sales as to appraise that property. And if I don't know what is going on with your equipment or what is going on with your aircraft or the conditions, my appraisal is going to be based on an average.
Oh, okay. All right. So when they would, you know, bring it and show it to you or give you information about it, then you can make a fair assessment of it, is what I'm hearing from that. But then if they kind of don't tell you about it, then you kind of make a guesstimation?
Exactly. Basically, you need to understand that we have business personal property, we have aircrafts, we have marine property,
okay,
heavy duty equipment. All of these types of returns that the taxpayer should make, several of them would cause us to go to the marketplace. And if we have to go to the marketplace, we're going to take sales in the southeast.
Oh, okay.
And take that book of sales as to appraise that property.
Oh, okay. All right. And I know that you all have sent out the mail outs and everything. When are those due back in?
They're due April 1st.
April the 1st, okay. And why should they return those things? I think you kind of answered that just a moment ago.
Well, you have two things that will go on. Number one, I will appraise that property after discovery, and if it's not returned by April 1st, then there's a 10% penalty that's going to be added to the appraisal. if a property has been on the books and on the records and you don't make a return, it's considered an automatic return. So therefore, that value that was there last year will be there for the next year without depreciation.
Okay.
So, it gives the taxpayer the right to return his property at what he feels is fair market value, and we'll take that in consideration.
Okay. And you mentioned the word depreciation. So if I own a boat this year, and of course each year the boats get a little older, my assessment on that is going to kind of taper off, I'm going to assume, correct?
Yes, it is. And something else, Alton, that could be going on, sometimes a motor's not running, and if I don't know that, I'm going to assess you based on the year of that boat, the condition of that boat. I'm going to assume that it's in good shape. I'm going to assume that the paint is good on that boat or an aircraft, and I'm going to assume that that motor's working properly. And sometimes those things are not going on with the taxpayer, and the return season is used for those things. To let me know. Okay. Because we can make adjustments.
Okay. And I don't own a boat, by the way. I'm just using that as an example. Okay.
Sure, we have an airplane somewhere head out somewhere.
I'm sure.
Okay.
Let me ask now, if someone wanted to get, I know you all said you mailed them out. Can they go on your website and access these forms too, Vivian?
Yes, they can. They can go on to our website to link to the, I think it's the Department of Revenue forms, and they can download personal and real property returns, because real property is also due April 1st.
Okay.
And mobile homes, May 1st.
May the 1st, okay. All right, so pretty much seems like everything is coming due around about the same time, either April the 1st or May the 1st. Okay, all right. Let's say, for example, you were talking about someone has a boat. The motor's not operating on it, but they don't let you know that, and you assume that the boat is in good condition. So you assess them whatever that assessment amount would be, but yet and still is not working properly. How can they appeal that?
Well, they will get a notice. Georgia lawmakers had ensured that all taxpayers would get a fair chance to get their values in, or to have a voice in their valuations for the year. So all taxpayers get an assessment notice. And that comes along somewhere about May, and that will let you know what we've assessed your property for. And you use that time. You have 45 days upon the receipt of that, or the notice on that date, to file an appeal to our office. Okay, all right. So I get my assessment from you guys, and then I dispute it 45 days. Within that 45-day window, I need to bring it back and appeal it to you all. Yes, sir. Okay, all right, well, very good. Now, let me ask you now, sometimes you say, you used the word earlier, discovery. How do you find property that is not reported to? Well, you don't have to give all your secrets, but sometimes how do you discover that someone may own various properties but hadn't reported it to you? First of all, you know, the largest part of the Personal Property Digest is going to be businesses. And businesses are discovered through all of the taxing districts' business licenses, the sales tax, that is a Department of Revenue list that they download to us each year. We also have UCC financing statements. With aircraft, we have the FAA. With boats, we have the DNR listing, and what they do, they are working with the assessors by linking their list with our WINGAP program. And so all of those, you know, you have several different tools to find out whether somebody owns something. Okay. Have you seen a lot of, I'm thinking our citizens are pretty honest citizens here in Troup County. Most of the ones, you have a percentage-wise where everybody reports the information to you? And it can just be rough. I would say about 80% will come in, and they will let you know that something is going on, because, like I said, the largest part is the businesses. Okay. Unless it's a small business, a lot of people just don't know. And what I would say to anybody who's just opening a small business, go to the Georgia Secretary of State, and they have a new business guide to tell you basically what you should be doing when you open your new business, and everything you need to do, and we are in that list.
Okay.
of things you need to do.
Okay, so-
And not to, and if you should get a return, that envelope is going to have official tax matter. You need to open that. You don't need to put that aside. You need to open it and you need to address it. Don't
Lay it to the side.
Don't lay it to
I'll
the
get to it
side
later.
and you'll miss your opportunity to file a return. You're going to miss an opportunity to appeal, and then you're going to get a tax bill.
Okay.
And that's when we get upset.
That's right, absolutely. And I think you mentioned this earlier, but I want to ask the question again because that's important. So many times we get mail and you know, we're coming in and we say, okay, I'll get to that in a moment. We lay it on the counter and a couple of days later it's still laying there. Penalty. Talk about, are there penalties for a person not returning this to you in a timely manner?
Yes, it is. It is the law, Alton. The law does two things with the Board of Assessors. They say you may and they say you shall. May, it would leave it up to that board to make a decision in a fair way for that taxpayer, and we always try to err in favor of the taxpayer. But when it says you shall, it doesn't give our board any options other than to assess that 10% penalty. It will be added.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. As we get ready to close out, you mentioned earlier a little bit, I wanted to go back to it just briefly here. You talked about real property. Those are coming due, homestead exemption, mobile home. Talk a little bit about that again for.
Just want to make sure that everyone knows that the returns are considered to be real and personal. So those returns are due April 1st. We also have Freeport. Freeport exempts qualified inventory. They need to be in by April 1st, or they would get a pro rata up until June 1st. After June 1st, the waiver for filing or receiving any exemption for that inventory is gone at that point. Conservation use, which is real property, that is due on April 1st.
Okay.
Homesteads are due on April 1st.
Let me ask about the homestead. I know a lot of times, you know, because I know some years ago we thought the homestead had gone away, but there are still exemptions that people can qualify for, correct?
Yes, indeed. Alton, the homestead credit went away, and that was a temporary thing that the governor signed, but the homestead itself still exists, and there are several different types of homestead. They can visit our office and find out if they might qualify for some additional types of homestead. But if you own your property and you live at that property as of January 1st after buying that house, then you are qualified to receive the regular homestead exemption.
Okay, very good. Well, Vivian, this has been great news, and I'm sure that nobody will hide this stuff from, because it seems like you're going to find it wherever they hide it. But hopefully they're not doing that, though. And
Yes,
go ahead and
we would assume that they would.
Absolutely. Go ahead and get it in, get the tax bill, get it taken care of. We want to thank you very much for coming on and sharing this, and just remember, listening audience, for April the 1st is when everything is due. If not, Vivian will be coming to see you, right? Well, Vivian, thank you very much for being on the show today.
Yeah, you're so welcome, and thank you, Alton, for having me.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're back from City Week in just a moment.
Why United Way? Because in some way, everyone in our community is touched by your donation to United Way of West Georgia. Yes, everyone. United Way helps 25 local agencies touch thousands of lives, even yours. To cause so many good things to happen, these organizations must have volunteers. Fortunately, more than 2,300 local volunteers are now giving time to the 25 local organizations that United Way of West Georgia helps support. Yes, more than 2,300 volunteers. But more are needed. Please volunteer your time, as well as your financial support. You'll be astonished at what you'll receive in return.
Welcome back to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Now I have on from the Legacy Museum, Troup County Archives, the Executive Director, Kay Minshew. Kay, welcome to the show.
I'm happy to be here. Thank
Well,
you.
great. This is good to sit down with you, Kay. And I know there's a lot of great things that are happening down at our museum. And you know, we're very fortunate to have 3 museums in our downtown area there. But let's talk a little bit about your role and responsibilities as the executive director.
At the Legacy Museum, we have a permanent exhibit area that covers local history from the Indians to recent times. And then we have a temporary area. Right now we have an exhibit of paintings actually about a woman's life from birth to death. The woman was born in LaGrange, her father was a postmaster, and then after she died, her daughter did this series of paintings, and it's a wonderful exhibit called All the In-Betweens, and it will be on display till March 14th. It's really great. It ties in with the Troup County Archives, where we have lots of family histories, biographies, other materials to do local history or genealogy research. And we also have city and county records and school records. So we have a wide variety of anything and everything relating to the history of the area.
Absolutely. You know, and it's been a while since I've been into the museum, and I need to get back in there. But the last time I was there, you know, you're talking about this all in between. I do remember there was a timeline of some things that were happening at that time. And you say you all have exhibits from the Indian age up until present time.
We do. We have several Indian artifacts, including some arrowheads and things found when they were excavating the lake. We had the Creek Indians here, and they were our last group of Indians, and they were sent out. They sold lands to the federal government and sent west in the 1820s, and about the time when white settlers came into the area. So one great Indian artifact is a bowl that was found on Callaway property in Harris County. And it's on loan to us, but it's a really beautiful bowl.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, very good. You know, so many times history is such an important thing to us, and you know, I know you all do a wonderful job of capturing that at the museum. And I know currently I was down there by the gym, and I know there's a banner that's hanging on the gate there. There's an exhibit on file now.
And that's the exhibit about all the in-between that Laurie McIntosh did about her mother's life. It's great fun. It shows a postmark from 1927 when her father was postmaster. It also shows some things that were a sign of their times. A painting of a bridge game in maybe the 1960s with the cigarette butts and the drinks all there. And, you know, you just wouldn't really have that today. So, and that was a ladies group. It's a fun exhibit.
Absolutely. It sounds like it's a lot of fun there. And I know that there are some other things that are going on that you want to talk about, and photographs. I think you guys are going to have some photographs exhibits.
We're very excited about our photographs. We've just worked really hard to make over 20,000 photographs from the Troup County Archives available online. Okay. Our website address is www.trouparchives.org. Okay. And if you go on to that page, you'll see a picture of the East Depot High Marching Band on the square in the 1960s, and it says, view our vast photo collection. So if you click on that, you can either browse for photographs or you can, you know, enter a specific name. Our photographs are a wide variety, from buildings downtown, including, say, City Hall, to families, to special events like parades, or we have a few circuses in town, LaGrange College, some sports pictures, and lots of pictures about cotton mills, a wide variety of photographs.
Well, very good. Well, I guess what was the thinking behind this, and how can people access? I heard you gave them a website, but if somebody was interested in maybe download some of these, is that
They
available?
can access it through, they can make copies or low resolution copies, so feel free to make a copy on your own printer. There's no charge. There is a watermark that says property of Troup County Archives. If you want photographic copies or digital copies, there's a link to contact us. We'll actually have the photographs on sale to celebrate this event between March 1st and March 15th. The photographs will be $7 for either a 5x7 reproduction or an 8x10 or a digital copy. By digital copy means we can email it to you as a JPEG. So the photographs, they can then be used however you want to use them. Some of our copies of our photographs are in, say, in Zaxby's on Commerce Avenue. They're at the Toyota dealership. There are a couple of banks in town have copies of our photographs on display. So you can certainly use them for decoration. Another thing is families, you know, just in case we have a picture of your grandmother or great-grandmother. So we also hope people will share with us photographs. That if you go through and it's like, you don't have any photographs of the West family, and so contact us, and if they're from the area, we might really love to get copies of those.
Okay. Very good. I was going to ask, my next question going to be asked, how did you all come about this 20,000 collection?
There's a large part of the collection from a couple of photographers, Snelson Davis, and then a couple of other photographers, and then others we've just depended on people to give us. You know, we've gotten through the years pictures from, say, the City of LaGrange. We've got a great postcard collection. So a little bit of everything, and you never know when a great photograph is going to come in that you don't know about. And we've also used the photographs extensively in our pictorial histories.
Okay, very good. So then again, if someone has some photographs that you all can utilize, they just give you all a call.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me your contact information if you don't mind, Kay.
Okay, and my email is kaye@trooparchives.org.
Okay.
And our website again is www.trooparchives.org.
Okay, very
We're really excited. We had a grant from the West Point Fund, the Chattahoochee Valley Foundation, of the Community Foundation of the Chattahoochee Valley, and so that helped us make this all possible. So we're excited to be able to let people look at photographs in the comfort of their own homes, or, you know, we had a soldier from Japan who was stationed in Japan looking at our photographs. So it really makes it a small world.
Absolutely. You know, and I definitely want to go out and take a look at someone, because, you know, you talked about the East Depot Marching Band. I remember when Clyde Reed was drum major there years ago.
Yeah.
So there's probably a lot of interesting photos there.
The one regret with those the East Depot Marching Band is we understand the band sounded really great and looked really good, so we're sorry we don't have video to go with those, but we're happy to have some photographs.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. So again, March the 1st to the 15th, photographs going to be on sale. If someone would like to get some of those, they can give you all a call or come by the archives?
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, or they can do it all online.
All online, okay. All right, and there are always a number of things going on with the archives. Talk about some of the upcoming events there, Kay.
We have an exhibit about cotton mills. It'll be on display starting about March 17th until June 1st. Cotton mills are so important to LaGrange and Troup County. Certainly all of our current industry has cotton mills to thank for paving the way. So we'll be looking from Troup factory in the 1840s and 50s up to modern day. We've also done a new brochure, a downtown walking tour brochure, where we spotlight local buildings, including both commercial buildings, LaGrange College, Hills and Dales, and private homes. You can pick up copies of that at the archives, at the Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Division, sort of around town. We'll have a special event on Saturday, May 3rd, where we'll have guides around to explain that. And we're going to be working on an iPad tour so that you can further get, you know, say you click on a picture of the Mansour's house, and you can see photographs also of Mr. and Mrs. Mansour, and maybe a couple of pictures from the inside of the house that you wouldn't normally get to see.
Absolutely. I was looking at the brochure here, and you know, I was talking before we came on, there's so many times we pass by these locations as residents of Troup County or LaGrange, and we look at them, oh, it's nice, but we never really, I guess, pay that much attention to them. And I was looking through this brochure, and there are a number of just wonderful locations here, and there's no cost for this. You just, an afternoon, get out and start walking, right?
Yep, get out and start walking. It's a good long walk, so you'll also get exercise in, which is a good thing. And that's the other plus about making it a walking tour. You can stop and actually look at, say, the columns or the porch. And so get a little bit more of the feel of the community.
Absolutely. You know, so many times, even at City Hall, you know, I was looking at it in 1926 when it was built, and as you and I were talking about it before we came on, one of the things I need to get done is put an address on that building because it doesn't currently have an address on it.
And I think some of these others don't have addresses, but so it is funny when you just know where City Hall is.
That's right.
But certainly visitors to town don't necessarily know where City Hall is.
That's right.
And another fun thing about City Hall, tying it back to the photographs, you think of a building like that that's a brick building and never having changed its appearance. And actually, through the years, it's had awnings over the windows, not had awnings, and used to the fire station was right beside it. And then sometimes, if we get lucky with the photograph, there's an old car in front of it. So that also gives it a different appearance.
Absolutely. You know, it's just something to kind of look back at history and see how things have evolved till today. You know, you look back and you see, like you're talking about the old cars with the big dome lights on the police cars and things of that nature. Well, great, Kay. Well, there's a lot of great things going on. And thank you. I want to go out and take a look at some of these photographs myself. And by all means, if we have some in my archive that we can share with you all, we definitely would like to do that. Well, Kay, I want to thank you very much for coming on today and sharing this information. And hopefully on that sales day, the 1st through the 15th, people come out, take a look at some of the photographs. And if you want to have some of those printed off, go by and see Kay, and they'd be happy to do it for you. Kay, thank you for coming on to the show today.
Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're back for more City Week in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Captain Dennis Knight with the Troup County Fire Department here with a few thunderstorm safety tips. If you can hear thunder, you're close enough to a storm to be struck by lightning. Last year in Georgia, there were more lightning-related fatalities than any other state. It's very important that we take thunderstorms seriously. When a thunderstorm approaches, you need to take shelter immediately in a sturdy building. Avoid using corded phones and electrical appliances. For more information on thunderstorm safety, please visit ready.ga.gov.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining for City Week this week. My guests have been from the Troup County Government Center, personal property appraiser Vivian White, as she talked about the upcoming deadline to make sure you get all your information turned in, and that's by April the 1st. Also, I had on from the Troup County Archives Legacy Museum, the Executive Director, Kay Minshew, as she talked about the 20,000 photos that you can go out and take a look at on their website. So ladies and gentlemen, by all means, take a look at them, and if you want to purchase them, that date for the sale is March the 1st through the 15th. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed this week's guest, and as always, I want to invite you back for more of City Week.
This is Bobby McCullen with the City of LaGrange Garage, and I'm here to give you another winter car care tip for your vehicle. Now, one thing you do need to check through the winter is your antifreeze. Your antifreeze keeps your vehicle from freezing during the winter. It's supposed to have a proper 50-50 mix between antifreeze and water. Very easy way to check it. One thing you need to look at is your coolant level to see how much antifreeze you have in the vehicle. Now, it's going to have a maximum or minimum level on your reservoir, and it's going to tell you how much you need to put in it. Another thing you need to check is the actual freezing point of your antifreeze. And you can do that with a simple tester you can get at any parts store. All you do is take the cap off of your radiator reservoir. On this model vehicle, we have a reservoir. Stick it down in and squeeze up your antifreeze into the tester. There will be a needle showing where your antifreeze test level is, and on this vehicle it's good to negative 45 degrees. Now, you need to have it up to about 0 degrees. You don't want it to be any higher than 0. If it's anything above 0, you need to flush out and refill your radiator with the proper level and type of antifreeze, and you can check your owner's manual for that. This is just another simple car care tip from the City of LaGrange. These are just general care tips for your vehicle. Please refer to your owner's manual for any vehicle specifications.